Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Thursdays Lunchtimes with Facebook's Lives with me. My name is Mage. I am a life and leadership coach, and my goal in these videos is to inspire and support you in being and becoming your best self and building a life that you absolutely freaking love. And it's my belief that nobody, absolutely nobody, benefits from you not being happy, not feeling radiantly alive, not feeling like you have freedom in your life. And so it's my goal that through these videos, I give you tools and tips and ideas to help you live and lead your most authentic, most awesome kick-ass life. And everything that I share in these videos are ideas that I'm currently applying to my life, or I have applied in my life with great success, or I'm using with some of my one-on-one and group coaching clients to help them achieve the things that they want to achieve in their lives, as well as build a great life. So welcome today. Just that was a quick overview of kind of some of the stuff we've got going on Thursdays. We'll give a couple more seconds for people to join us, for Facebook to do its thing where it invites other people to join us. So great to see you here. If you're here, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're here. Leave a comment below, maybe with an emoji, to let me know how you're feeling today on this Thursday fall day. Thanks for joining me. The topics that we talk about are habits, productivity, living authentically and wholeheartedly, leadership. I have a big background in leadership, so we talk about leadership quite a bit. We talk about how to learn, growth mindset, all of that good stuff. Thanks for joining me, AJ. I see you. Thanks for joining me. And today's topic is specific to what are the 3 must-have skills for a greater sense of freedom, fulfillment, and success. And I'm super excited to share this topic with you because it's near and dear to my heart. So welcome. It's 12:32 now, so we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks again for joining me today. My name is Mage. I'm a life and leadership coach. And today's topic is the 3 must-haves, the 3 must-have skills to help you create a deeper sense of freedom and fulfillment in your life without sacrificing your ambitions, without sacrificing productivity. It's about time management to some degree, but it's much, much more than time management. And the reason I picked this one is because it's something that I used to struggle with a lot. I used to think that the reason I always felt so overwhelmed is because I wasn't good at managing my time. That used to be the thing I thought was my problem. And I would look around and see everybody else doing things, and they all seemed like they were getting it done with ease and effortlessness. But I always felt like I was missing the mark. And I was really hard on myself around that. And not only that, but I had leaders and I had people also telling me I was bad at time management. And so I thought that was what the problem was. That's why I wasn't feeling a deep sense of freedom, fulfillment, and productivity and success, as I thought I had a time management problem. Well, I don't know if you've ever experienced that before. Do you feel like time management is your issue? AJ, good to see you. Hi, Laura. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever criticized yourself around time management type issues. Feeling like you can never get ahead, feeling this constant overwhelm, feeling trapped by it. Well, today I'm going to teach you 3 skills that are going to help you not feel trapped. It's going to help you feel deeper sense of freedom and fulfillment. And these 3 skills are skills that I've started working on when I realized that it wasn't necessarily about time management. It wasn't about the gadgets, the planners of what I could fit in my schedule at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and so on and so forth. There are actually 3 critical skills that come even before we put it on the calendar. Are you excited to hear what those 3 critical skills are? I'm excited to share with you. Hey, Laura. Yes, I feel the same way too. Awesome. Thanks for joining me. So, what are those 3 must-have skills? Well, the first one is decision management. Decision management. So, under the bucket of time management, we have decision management. The fact of the matter is, in a given week, you have 168 hours. That's how many hours you have in a given week, is 168 hours. And if you take like 56 of those hours dedicated to sleep, because technically you should be sleeping about 8 hours a night, that's 7 times 8, you're getting close to 56. So then about 56 hours then are going to be spent working. Because when you think about getting up and showering and preparing your meals and getting dressed, some of you have a commute, some of you don't. Now we've taken away from that 168 hours, and that leaves 56 hours for you to do something with. So we're all restricted to 168 hours in a week, and there's always more things that we would love to do than we have time to do. And so the first step, if you want to create more freedom and fulfillment in your life while also being super productive, we have to get good at deciding what we actually want to give our time to, which is why it's called decision management. It's a skill, and we're managing our decisions. So again, there's going to be always more good ideas, more things we want to do than we have time to do. So the first thing is decision management. Now, a couple things to think about here is that in order for us to practice good decision management, that means we have to have an idea, a certain degree of self-awareness of what matters most to us. What are our values? What's important to us? Where do we want to be in 3 and 5 years? What are the top initiatives on the team that I'm a part of? What are the most important things that need to be getting done? Not what everybody else wants. Like people constantly asking for your time and you're invited to all these different things. But really, what do you value? What's important to you? Where do you want to be in 3 and 5 years? This is going to help you practice good decision management, because we need to decide what's going to go on the calendar and what's not going to go on the calendar, right? So it's not just about fitting more stuff in, it's about fitting the right things in. I think it was like Peter Drucker, who's like a management guru back in the 70s, 80s, earlier 90s. He said nothing, you want to be thinking about spending time on the things that, I think the time management thing is like, there's nothing worse than spending time on things that don't matter at all. I totally butchered that. Google Peter Drucker for that quote. I can't remember the quote, but you get the idea, right? Is that whatever I decide to spend my time on, is it something that's important to me? Does it help me move the ball in the direction of my most authentic dreams and goals? Is it something I'm saying yes to because I feel like I should say yes to it? Or is it something that actually fills me up and I want to do it and I feel like it's in alignment with what I'm on the planet to do? Like, a thing that I constantly ask myself is this my role to play? So we want it, when it comes to decision management, we want to know, what's my role? What's my responsibility? What's their responsibility? That way we know, like, I'm going to say yes to this or I'm not going to say yes to this, because it's not my responsibility to own this. So I want to know what's my role to play. And for those of you who have kids out there, give me a thumbs up if you've got kids. This always makes me think about like decision management and playing my role well, is when we think about our kids when they first start playing soccer, right? And what do we see when they're first begin playing soccer? They're like this big mob, right? And they just kind of run around and they chase the ball everywhere, right? I feel like that's essentially what most people are doing in adulthood. Is they're just they're saying yes to everything and they're just chasing the most urgent ball around, right? And nobody's playing their roles well. As we get better at soccer, we start to better understand why there's a goalie, why there's a halfback, why there's a defender, why there's a right wing. Like, we start to better understand all the roles to play. And so we know where to stop and where to start when it comes to running with the ball. And so that's a decision management system, is this is my role to play. And if I'm not playing my role well, then the ball gets dropped in my area, right? And we end up all mashing up together. So we need to understand, what are my roles to play? And that's going to help you create a deeper sense of freedom and fulfillment in your life, because you're only taking responsibility for what you own, So decision management is the first skill that we want to develop for a greater sense of freedom, fulfillment, and success in our lives. Are we taking on the responsibilities of our kids when they could be doing some more on their own, that they can start to own some of their responsibilities? Are we in a leadership position where Maybe we're still doing individual contributor work when really our role is to be thinking about 3 months, 6 months out, or maybe you're in a director role and you should be looking more at, 12 months to 2 years out, instead of being in the weeds and actually creating widgets and serving members or clients. So we want to play our role well when it comes to decision management. That's the first skill to develop is our ability to make good decisions. Most of us don't make decisions. We just go through life and we say yes to everything. We just react. Decision making is actually pausing, assessing, is this something I would like to do? Is this my responsibility? Is this where I can give my strengths in greatest service to the greater good here? Is this something that lines up with my 3, 5, and 10-year goals? So we want to practice decision management. That's going to create more freedom and fulfillment and success in our life because we're working on the things that are most important. A really great question to ask ourselves here is, once you've clarified where do you want to be in 3 and 5 years, what matters most to you, is to ask yourself the question, what's the one thing I could be doing right now, such by doing it, everything else would be easier or unnecessary? What's the one thing I could do right now, such by doing it, everything else would be easier or unnecessary? And then we can start to get down to the real issue. Instead of like trying to put out fires of like all of these urgent matters, we can get really clear about what's the core issue that we should be working on. And that's going to help you make that good decision. The second skill that we want to be working on then is attention management. Attention management. So once we've decided what's important to be working on, that's when we start to put it on the calendar, kind of your time management type gadgets and things like that that can help you time block it. Then we want to focus our attention. I don't know about you, but for me, one of the things I struggle with is internal noise. So I've decided this thing is important for me to go do, or I've decided going to this dinner date is important for me to go do. It's important for me to go to my child's football game, or it's important for me to go to this particular meeting. But once I get there, my attention is so all over the place that I might as well not be there anyways, because I'm not able to give all of my energy, the quality and the quantity of the energy and my presence to that particular situation. So an example of this in my life is when I sit down to write sometimes, I might have some indecisiveness going into what's my end goal here? What do I actually want to accomplish with this writing? But then when I get in there, the internal monkeys start to go and I question and doubt my decision, which then make it hard for me to focus my attention. So the second part, the second skill to develop for more freedom, fulfillment, and success in your life is your attention, to be able to focus your mind where you want for how long you want. If you've decided that having dinner with your family is important, it's a value of yours, and yet you've got internal distractions and you're thinking about all the work you just left or what still needs to be done, you're not fully present, and that's going to make you feel trapped and it's going to make you feel suffocated. You're definitely not going to feel fulfilled during that dinner. So we want to practice attention management, which we've got two aspects of this. We've got the internal that's happening when it comes to distracting us from being fully present, and we've also got the external. So external technology, like if you're having dinner with the family and the phone's on the table, that's a potential external distraction, right? It's a parent demonstrating no boundaries whatsoever, is having the phone on the table during dinner time, or even letting the phone ring during dinner and then you go answer it. That's basically sending a message to the whole family that they're not that important when you do that. Also, when you think about attention management in meetings at work, right? You've decided to be there. Are you bringing your best to that meeting if you're thinking about something else, if you've got some internal noise going on? I shouldn't be here. I should have sent someone else here. You're not able to truly focus during that time. So we want to work on the second aspect to creating more freedom and fulfillment and success in our life, is to be able to focus our attention when we want for how long we want. And there's this really cool formula that Cal Newport put together about kind of productivity and the quality and the quantity of work that you can put out. So if you think about, like, you have this end product, you've decided it's important. And let's say that you can score 100 on this, And it's kind of hard to see because I've got notes behind it. But the end is you're going to have a quality of some sort of product here of 100. Well, we have an X and a Y variable to go into this. So let's say the amount of time is, I'll actually make it a T so you know what I'm talking about here. And then we've got focus. So the T stands for the amount of time you're going to put in to create this quality work or invest in a quality relationship. The F stands for your focus, your ability to focus, the intensity of your focus. So if you're bringing like a level 2 focus to any meeting, to any relationship, your attention is at a level 2, it's going to take you 50 hours potentially. If this is your time, it's going to take you 50 hours to hit that 100 mark, right? So it's actually going to take you more time to build a high quality relationship, a high quality product, if you're not able to focus your attention during that time you've decided to work on it with. But if you're able to raise your focus, raise your attention to a level 10, where you've gotten rid of a lot of the internal distractions, the dialogue going on, the indecisiveness going on, the doubt, the worry, the things like that. You've gotten rid of a lot of that. You've eliminated external distractions as well. You've been able to boost your attention management up to a level 10 focus. Then it's only going to take you 10 hours, or is that right? Yeah, 10 hours versus 50 hours, right? It's going to take you 10 hours versus 50 hours. Isn't that wild that that's possible? Anytime we're trying to multitask and our focus is out of place, it's absolutely going to take us longer. So if you really want to create more freedom, fulfillment, and success in your life, you got to get good at decision management. What's important? We only have 168 hours in the week. I can't say yes to everything. There's always going to be more good ideas than there is time to execute on those good ideas. And the second piece, the second skill, is attention management. Can I get myself to focus where I want for how long I want? Now, the third skill, the third management thing that we want to be working on is energy management. Energy management. I've talked about this a lot in the last couple of weeks, but energy management is absolutely critical. And one of the ways I like to think about energy management is, let's say you've decided to drive from the Pacific Northwest. You're going to take this awesome road trip. So you've decided we're going to take a road trip down to San Diego, and we're going to take the highway down right by the river, the ocean, all the way down. We've got a convertible to really, really enjoy the ride. We've got our favorite tunes. So we've decided we're bringing all this attention and focus to it. We get in the car, we start heading down, and you look down at the gas tank and you realize we're starting to run out of fuel. Now, it doesn't matter how much you're enjoying that trip. If you don't stop and fill up the gas tank, you're not going to get to your destination. You're going to end up having a miserable time because you're going to end up running out of gas on the side of the road somewhere. So at some point, you're going to have to stop for gas. You're going to have to stop to refuel. And yet, for some reason, the human body, like, we think that we can just go all day 24/7 and never have to refuel the tank. And so we need to be thinking about energy management, because even when you've decided that this is an important relationship to invest in, you've decided this is an important meeting to go to, you've decided this is an important project to work on, if your attention's not there, you're not going to be able to do great things with that. And then if you don't have the fuel in the tank to actually execute on that, like, you know what it's like to show up at a meeting at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when you've skipped lunch. You're just not going to provide that much value to the meeting. What about if you go all day long, you don't take breaks, you just go meeting after meeting after meeting, and then you expect yourself to somehow show up as the best version of you for dinner with your family, with your loved one, with your partner? Like, your tank's going to be completely empty. That's you just trying to coast into the next city on your way down to San Diego. It's just not going to work. You've got to work on your energy management tool. Two is filling up that fuel tank. And there's 4 specific ones I like to focus on. One is your physical energy. Your physical energy is going to impact your psychology. It's going to impact your decision making. It's going to impact your attention management. Physical energy matters, and it matters a lot. Your biology matters a lot. So this is about bringing a high quantity of energy to a situation and also a high quality of energy to a situation. Right? So we want to make sure our physical energy there, eating, moving, sleeping, taking breaks, getting rest, coming back, fully recovering, not just mindless Facebook scrolling for a break, but actually taking a real break, maybe a walk in nature, things like that. So you have your physical energy, then you have your emotional energy too. Am I able to emotionally engage in this relationship? Am I emotionally able to engage in this product, in this project that I'm working on with my team members? So we have to have a high level of emotional too. So we have 4 tanks as human beings to be thinking about. Your physical fuel tank, keeping that full, that's not constantly stressed out. We've got a high level of emotional engagement. We've got the physical presence, the high quality, high quantity of energy to bring to the game. We've also got the mental clarity, right? If you're tired, you get foggy. You're not very creative if you don't have good, high quality energy mentally, right? And if you've exhausted your mind thinking, ruminating, it's going to be really hard for you to show up and do great work mentally too, because the energy tank mentally is diminished. And the 4th aspect people don't often talk about is your spiritual tank. Like, is the work you're doing feel aligned with your truth? Does the work you're doing feel like it's purposeful, that it matters to you, that aligns with your deepest values? That's your spiritual tank. And a lot of us, you look at current polls out there and people are like, 50% of the workforce don't like their jobs. That's part of a spiritual drainage too, not to mention the other things too, but as part of a spiritual drain. They just don't feel a deep sense of connection and alignment with it, that it's not purposeful work. They feel like a cog in the wheel. So that's the 3rd thing, is that energy management. Our energy management is going to impact both of those in significant ways. So we want to work on optimizing our energy management. It's going to help us make better decisions and also help us develop the skill of attention management. So those are the 3 skills that are really truly going to help you create more freedom, fulfillment, and success in your life. And the reason I say freedom and fulfillment is because when you make decisions that are based on your values and your goals and the things that matter most to you, that's a fulfilling way to spend your time. And when you start to say no to the things that are just nice to haves, or people kind of like trying to dump their responsibilities on you, or people trying to guilt you into doing things, those aren't going to fulfill you. You're going to feel trapped. So if we can get good at decision management, making decisions that are based on our values, our goals, our strengths, the things that matter most to us, we're going to feel a deeper sense of freedom and fulfillment, because we know what's ours to own and what's not. We know what to say yes to and what we're going to say no to. It doesn't make it easy. It requires a lot of courage, self-discipline, self-leadership to be able to do that. Then attention management. We're just going to feel more productive at the end of the day. So we're going to feel more fulfilled at the end of the day, because we're working on the things that matter to us, that we find value in. And we're able to do it with this high level of focus. And we feel radiantly alive when we do it, because we're practicing that energy management. So those are the 3 that you can't have great time management. I used to think that there was something wrong with me, because I would cram my calendar full and I'd still feel overwhelmed. I'd still feel trapped. And it's because I wasn't practicing personal leadership. I wasn't making good decisions that were based on my authentic dreams and goals, my strengths, my purpose, that I feel like I could contribute. I wasn't able to, and I'm still working on this, attention management. So critical. I can get more done in less time. And then the last one, energy management. Man, it just feels good to feel good. When you're tired and groggy, it doesn't feel good. Who wants to be like that? Nobody benefits from you feeling deflated and feeling tired and lethargic. So we want you to be taking good management of that, developing that skill set, building good habits around your energy management. Stick around. We're coming close to the hour here. We got about 5 minutes left. As always, I like to stick around and do some Q&A. Those of you that got a jet, go ahead and jet. That is the major part of the content. I will say, when people ask questions, other stuff often comes up. There's some good nuggets in there. So if you can't stick around, go ahead and stick around. If you've got questions and you got a jet, just drop them in the comments below. I go through and I read the questions and I respond to the questions as well. If you got value today, please let me know. Leave a comment below which idea really, really landed with you. Any insights and actions you plan to take from this to develop your ability to practice good decision management, attention management, and energy management so you can create a deeper sense of freedom and fulfillment and success in your life. Not sacrificing your ambitions, not pulling back your productivity, actually dialing it up in a more meaningful way because you know what to say yes to and you know what to say no to. So I'm going to take a look at the comments now. For those of you who have watched and you're heading out, thanks so much for watching. If you got value today, please consider sharing this with others. I'll be coming back on every Thursday from 12:30 to 1 p.m. to share more tools, tips, and ideas to inspire and support you in being and becoming your best self and building a life that you absolutely freaking love and a career that you love. So I'm going to check out the comments now. Thanks again for watching. For those of you that are still here, let's look at the questions. I'm excited. Algebra. Uh-oh. Right? Not easy. Awesome. Thank you, AJ. I'm excited too. Learning it's okay to say no at times. Me and you both, Holly. Me and you both. If you're still here, I hear you. I totally get it. I am still recovering as a people pleaser. You know, saying yes to everybody else's dreams and goals, everybody else's emotional needs, but my own. That is a new way I'm trying to grow up for myself. And burnout is a big thing. One thing to bring up here too, burnout. I believe wholeheartedly, because I've experienced this and I've seen it in my clients' lives, we can experience burnout on both ends. Like, you can experience burnout, meaning that if you don't honor the breaks, like time management, productivity, decision management, attention management has just as much to do with when you start as it does as when you stop. If you don't stop, it'll lead to burnout. And you'll also, if you don't come back and do your work, you'll lead to burnout because you won't feel purposeful. Yeah, algebra. Oh, Summer, man, so good to see you. I haven't seen you forever. Kim, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Great message. And AJ, thank you. I'm glad you got something new. Working on decision making to put the most important things on the calendar. And Holly is still here as well. Awesome, you guys. Thanks again for joining me. If you know people who would get value out of these types of videos, please share this with them. That on Thursdays, we do go live to share tools, tips, and ideas to help you live and lead your most authentic, most awesome kick-ass life. Thanks again for joining me today. So glad you could join me and spend your time with me today. Have a wonderful day. Have a great weekend and have fun putting these ideas into action. Much love. See you later.